Do not start your refurbishment before watching this video. 9 tips on how to do your refurb, and the last few will probably shock you. So I'm going to quick fire 9 tips to make sure that refurbishments don't run over time, and then I'm going to sign off with some final pieces of advice. Number 1 is make sure you understand the project outlay from week 1 all the way to the final sign off, and make sure you're checking in on a regular basis snagging. Number 2 is get 3 quotes. Even if you've got your regular builders, they need to know that they're going in with a quote, not a guaranteed job. This keeps them on their toes. You're also building a great list of potential builders to help you out with ongoing refurbs. Number 3 is use people that you know. So if you don't have your regular people, make sure you're using a business like Aspire. It doesn't need to be us or somebody else where it just does it all for you. If you don't know how to do it, hand it over to somebody else. And as I said, APG in the comments if that's you. Number 4, actually build your contacts through word of mouth. So how do we do this? Go on Check a Trade. That's a great place to start. At least you know they've got a certain amount of quality. Go on Facebook groups. Who do you recommend? Who did you last use? What was good about them? What was bad about them? I always ask them, what's your biggest downfall? And if they're not, say, honestly, nothing, I'm just on with it, I won't use them. Everyone's got a downfall. Usually it's communication, but search out through word of mouth. Number 5, get absolute clarity on what is and isn't included on the refurbishment. The amount of times that it's easy to go, right, I need the kitchen done, and then they quote you for the kitchen, you send you for the kitchen installed, and you've got, right, the kitchen's going to be done, only to find out that actually the backsplash, the tiling is not included. You go back and go, why is that not in? Well, you didn't detail that, and that's not in the quote. That's going to cost extra. That will happen 2 or 3 times before you get it absolutely right. But nail that down, get clarity from day 1. Number 6, when you know how much it's going to cost, assume it's going to cost more. So always add in a contingency to your refurbs. The more experienced you are, the lower the contingency. So we'll typically put in 5 to 10%. If you're brand new to this, I would expect to add in 20, even 25% if you're an absolute beginner. Again, this is why I say use experts. Doesn't need to be Aspire. It could be somebody else, because automatically that 10 to 15% contingency that I guarantee you will use suddenly doesn't need to get used, but add in contingencies. Number 7, use technology. We really like using Site Audit Pro. Okay, it's a really good way to document the photos. You can save it, you can create snagging lists, and it's a really powerful thing that we can use, and make sure you're using technology. It's there to be utilized. Number 8, track your project management on some sort of digital asset. And it's really important because what you can do is set it up as a project on its own. You share it with every individual. All of the photos, all of the documents go into one place, and it just makes it very easy on the admin. And that's so important because builders, plumbers, electricians, painter and decorators are very much like salespeople. Often they are great at their job and useless at admin and communication. So create an easy to use software or process where everyone can communicate in one place. And finally, communication. Communication is absolutely key here. You need to set out the expectations and follow up on what you said you were going to do. One of the biggest mistakes that I find with, especially people working with builders, etc., because a lot of builders are very blue collar, kind of my background, if you like. So you've got people where they're honest, straight shooting people, and they respect it. Don't pussyfoot around it. If your builder fucks around, tell them. If they've not done something to the spec that you want, tell them. So many people won't have the hard conversation until they're dealing with a really hard situation. So make sure you're setting the tone and communicating effectively. So those are my tips. Make sure you've got your spec sheet, your scope of work, and your price sheet all the way through, and you make sure you're following up all the way through, snagging throughout, working to evaluation when you're paying people out, and follow my 9 tips I gave you. I think you'll be okay. Again, if you want help doing this, maybe it just sounds like a little bit too much, a bit overwhelming, put APG in the comments. I'll send you the link. Let's have a free, completely free one-to-one strategy session so I can help you out. And if not, make sure to hit the like button. Hopefully you got massive value from this. And if you're new to the channel, you want to find out more about property, make sure to hit subscribe and the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.